and your moderator. Welcome to another fabulous live stream episode of Just My Opinion podcast. Could you do a boy a favor? Hit the subscription button, the notification bell, share this with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this YouTube channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. Got a lot of stuff to talk about on today's show, but first and foremost, I want to say this to all the people that are trying to get back to their regular scheduling programming because of the snowstorm that we had. I hope the majority of you guys got your power on. You're back at home at the comforts of your own home. It was for the past 3 or 4 days. It was very rough for a lot of people, including myself. I was without power Sunday. I think it was around 4 a.m. and I just got my power restored Tuesday. And the first night was treacherous. First night was unbearable. So I said to myself, for the second night, no, I'm not going through that. I got a hotel, and I stayed in that hotel, and I thought I was going to add an additional day. So I went on and booked an additional day. And when I booked that additional day, the power was restored. You know, and I could go back to my own home. So I didn't stay for the second stay. I went back home. Man, I'm telling you something. It's something different sleeping in a hotel versus sleeping in your own home. You feel peaceful at your own home. Not to say that I wasn't appreciative of the motel because of because they had power and things of that nature. I wasn't appreciative, but I just, was, sitting in that hotel room wishing to return home as soon as possible. And I did. So, a lot of people are struggling. People are still struggling. People are still without power, particularly where I'm at. And when I look at the news, local as well as national, a lot of people, are still struggling without the services of power and now water. One of my coworkers was saying, "Well, what would you rather be without, water or power?" I told him, I'd rather be without water. I can buy water. I can find water somehow, some way. When it comes to power, that's a resource that's very precious. It's not hard to come. It's hard to come by. I am going to invest in a power generator. Um, I'm going to wait over the summer, when it's affordable. It's affordable now, but it can be really affordable, particularly in the summertime when you don't necessarily need it. But without further ado, let's get into today's live stream. I know y'all don't want to talk about my woes. I know you got your own woes out here. So we're going to, step aside from reality and get into this sports talk, okay? So, what's going on in the news? LeBron James played last night. LeBron James Lakers played the Cleveland Cavaliers, his home team, the team that drafted him, the city that he was born and raised in. And LeBron James scored 11 points in what could be his final game in Cleveland as the Cavaliers just ripped the Los Angeles Lakers to shred. Interesting enough, Bronny James was playing, and we'll get into that a little bit in a second. Messi. I'm not a soccer fan, but between the two, I heard more about Messi. Yeah, Messi. I'll go with Messi. Okay. He said W. Okay. All right. So LeBron latest homecoming didn't go his way. I don't understand why LeBron would thought it would have went his way, but he did crack a smile as Bronny James scored 8 points down the stretch in a blowout. Okay. And as a father, you would be appreciative of your son on the highest level having some type of success, even though it was late in the game. It's a blowout. I'm pretty sure the Cleveland Cavaliers, took out all their starters, even took out a lot of their role players, just people that just sit on the bench, got the opportunity to play. But good for him. He scored 8 points. I'm not going to hate on that. Bronny James did have some success in this game. LeBron James, by the way, scored 11 points Wednesday night in a 129-99 loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jesus Christ, it was probably worse than that. In what could be his final game in Cleveland, where the Akron native spent a total of his 11 seasons across 2 stints with the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers are 29-20, reportedly would welcome LeBron James back for a third go-around next season. That is, if the 41-year-old wants to keep playing. He's currently in a contract year and a record-setting 23rd NBA season, including his 8th straight with the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers are 21-18. Okay? So we're going to pause it right there. And LeBron James, when they did a tribute to him, he was very emotional about it, or he looked very emotional about it, as he should. That city owes a lot to LeBron James, so, as he should. An emotional LeBron James soaked in the LeBron James tribute. Even in the locker room, in the visiting locker room, they did something special for LeBron James. And that's good for Cleveland. Cleveland ain't holding are not holding, are not hating on LeBron James. They know what's up. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up. So let's talk about this. I'm hearing mixed signals about LeBron James returning to Cleveland. Now, Dan Gilbert does have a weird relationship with LeBron James. It's off and on. It's like hot and cold sometimes. The first time LeBron James left Cleveland high and dry is when he took his talents to South Beach. Dan Gilbert didn't appreciate that. He didn't like that. Talked about it lengthily to anyone who put a mic in front of him, how disappointed he was with LeBron James. But then welcomed LeBron James with open arms when he returned to Cleveland with the "I'm coming home" type of theme. He did win a title with Cleveland. I think when LeBron won a title with Cleveland, it smoothed out all the other issues Dan Gilbert had about LeBron James the first time around. Now, the third time around, I don't know. I think this is all rumors. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I don't know if this is coming straight from Dan Gilbert, because I also heard players of the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're not welcoming LeBron James with open arms. Okay. People got to realize LeBron is 41. He's playing in his 24th season. How productive LeBron James could be as far as propelling the Cleveland Cavaliers to another title. I think those days are far and gone. I think LeBron James can contribute to a team, but not at the magnitude he could when he was in his prime. And people have to understand that. I do feel like if LeBron does return to Cleveland, I don't see it, but if he does return to Cleveland, things will be a lot different. He won't have a lot of control or influence with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They'll appreciate him joining the Cleveland Cavaliers because they know this is his finals. I feel like next season is his final season in the NBA, and he's going to do other things. I'm not gonna put any money on it, but I do believe LeBron James is done playing basketball. He's going to get a send off next season. He'll play it in Cleveland, and then he'll get all the awards and accolades and appreciation and things of that nature. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers will be trying to compete to get a title. I don't think Cleveland is in that first tier, particularly in the East, of possibly going to the NBA Finals. I do feel like they are, on that third tier that possibly could go. A couple of years ago, Cleveland was a lot of the insiders say, "Oh, Cleveland is going to be very competitive in the playoffs and possibly could win an NBA title with the pieces they have been collecting and picking up. But due to injuries and luck, bad luck, Cleveland just haven't utilized what they have put out there on the floor on a consistent basis. You see flashes here and there, but not on a consistent basis. So while Cleveland is trying to figure it out and put everything together, uh, it'll be separate from LeBron James last season in the NBA. I think that'll be good for the Lakers. They'll sell out every single game. People want to see LeBron James for one last time. It's a touchy feely type of story, but as far as LeBron contributing to the Cleveland Cavaliers, as far as being very competitive to be at least in the NBA Finals, I think those days are long and gone. Okay, now another thing, LeBron, if he comes back to his 24th season, um, like I said, he's not going to have a lot of control. He's not going to have a lot of influence. He's not going to have a lot of say so. He's not going to get a max contract. He's not, and as far as the trade option, dictating whether or not he's going to be traded. Even though I don't feel like Dan Gilbert or the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to trade LeBron James midway next season. I don't see that happening. But I also don't see a lot of teams wanting the services of LeBron James. Now, I've heard a lot of rumors that when, particularly around the Golden State Warriors, they're interested in Giannis, and they're willing to trade everything they have under the sun for Giannis, and they will be also in the offseason trying to recruit LeBron James to come to the Golden State Warriors. Now, I've heard that. I don't know if none of that is true. I don't think none of that's going to be really impossible. I do feel like LeBron James, as far as him competing for another title, he's not in that mindset no more. He wants to pretty much end his chapter, particularly with the team that drafted him. And look, a lot of people don't give LeBron James a lot of credit. I do feel like LeBron James had this tucked in the back pocket just in case things sour with the Lakers. I think he had this tucked. I think he had a private meeting with Dan Gilbert, and they got an understanding in principle. So, um, yeah, that's good for LeBron James. His last season in the NBA, he's going to end it where he started it in Cleveland. Okay, so I feel like that's a good, warm, touchy type story that the NBA would utilize, that the Cleveland Cavaliers would definitely utilize, and LeBron James. So yeah, that's all well and good. Okay, but we'll wait and see at the end of the season, when he's a free agent, how any of this would matter. Okay, so that's all the basketball news. I want to get into some NFL. And this went down the pipeline yesterday. And I'm going to read the article. And this coming from CBS Sports, website. Bill Belichick, snubbed in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, issued a statement, vow action if voters violated by law. Okay, now this is kind of weird. I wasn't going to talk about this. I was just going to talk about what happened yesterday, okay? So we'll talk about what happened yesterday. We'll talk about the rest of this crap later on, okay? The Pro Football Hall of Fame has issued a statement amid the backlash of Bill Belichick reportedly not being introduced in the Pro Hall of Fame class. Belichick, winner of 8 Super Bowls, including 6 during his time as a head coach of the New England Patriots, fell short of the 40 votes needed from the 50-person selection committee to be indicted to be the first in his first year of eligibility as a coach finalist. Belichick was with the Patriots. Now, what the voters with Patriot owner Rob Kraft, the lone contributing finalist, and the senior finalist, Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, LC Greenwood, voters could cast votes for the three of the five finalists, and Belichick was snubbed, becoming a major source of controversy. Okay, now here's what I gotta say about this. Now, a lot of the voters issued a lot of statements, and one voter in particular, who was an analyst for ESPN, I can't think of his name right now. He got on the tube and said that he doesn't even recall voting for Bill Belichick. That's kind of weird. Like, I can understand if it was an average Joe, and maybe you're a little older, you probably don't know who you voted for. And by the way, they selected this like days ago, so how you can't remember who you voted for or didn't vote for is beyond me. But I'm gonna give you the benefit of a doubt if it was just like an average Joe. But we're talking about Bill Belichick. You should know if whether or not you voted for. So when he released that statement, that automatically discredited from my standpoint. Man, you're not even man enough. You don't have the cojones to tell the public out there that you did not vote for Bill Belichick. By you releasing this statement, you automatically are going to get trounced. Everyone knows you voted against Bill Belichick. Okay. Now they also released a statement saying like, well, the reason why we didn't vote him in was because we decided to give him a little payback from Deflategate, the Deflategate scandal and the cheating scandal, which the Robert Kraft, the New England Patriots, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick got punished for those things. So why are we additionally punishing somebody that was already punished in the first place? Okay, it's beyond me. And before anyone gets in the comment section, I like football, and you guys know I'm a huge Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm going to be a Dallas Cowboy fan until the wheels fall off. I have no allegiance to the New England Patriots. I don't even like the New England Patriots. I don't even like Tom Brady. I don't like Bill Belichick. I don't like Robert Kraft, but I do respect those individuals and that organization, okay? So please do not come in the comment section saying, oh, you're a shill for the New England Patriots, you're a Tom Brady fan, you're a Bill Belichick fan. I'm none of those things, okay? I care, but I could care less, okay? I want things done the right way. Bill Belichick should have easily got it on the first moment of opportunity as far as going into the Hall of Fame, okay? This thing that they did discredits them. It disrespects the Hall of Fame. It puts a huge stain in the NFL shield. The league is going to have to issue a statement and this just also goes to show you shouldn't give too much power to people that have a lot of jealousy and envy about other people. This clearly, a lot of these guys, they're going to use that order of protection, like, well, we're punishing him because of Deflategate and the cheating scandal. But truth be known, a lot of these guys have ran across Tom Brady, Bill Belichick on a competition type level, and they just dismantled them. Okay, a lot of these guys got friends or friends of coaches who have all lost to Bill Belichick or not had a lot of success with Bill Belichick. And a lot of them lost their jobs because of it, because they could not beat the big kahuna. Okay. And a lot of these front office personnel, and it's coaches, it's front office personnel, it's former players, all have a disdain for this organization because when they ran into that buzzsaw, they didn't have much of a career while they were still present. And it shortened their legacy. It shortened their career. So of course they're going to punish Bill Belichick somehow, some way. Okay, and before I think this is gold. I think this is deeper than the Hall of Fame because we done had so many openings for head coaches, namely the Buffalo Bills, and y'all not even going to give Bill Belichick just an interview, not the head coaching position. Y'all not even going to schedule him just an interview, even though you're not going to hire him. You're not going to give him an interview. Pittsburgh, you're not even going to give Bill Belichick a sniff, a whiff, an interview. And you picked who to be your head coach? That's the same head coach we had in Dallas, Mike McCarthy, Pittsburgh. He didn't do much with Dallas. I mean, he had some success with Dallas, but you're going to pick him over the greatest coach in NFL history? What about the Browns? Y'all got rid of the coach that everyone felt was a disservice to Sanders' son, Shador. And Bill Belichick can't help the Cleveland Browns? Didn't Bill Belichick play for the Cleveland Browns? Didn't he get an opportunity to just go in for a simple interview or fill out an application? Bill Belichick is now Bill Belichick knows what we in the African American community knows for this discrimination. You're not even going to give us an opportunity to just knock on the door. I mean, this is crazy. It's super crazy. Somebody left a comment. Hold up. The disrespect is crazy, bro. Yeah, it's crazy disrespectful that this man is not even going to get a whiff, an opportunity to even write his name on the job application. I'm not saying he should get any of these jobs just straight off, but y'all not even going to give him any. So this just goes to show that this goes far beyond the Hall of Fame. This is an NFL. I mean, this is the NFL all collectively putting their heads together saying, hey, look, we're not going to reward somebody. We're not going to reward Bill Belichick. And you know what? Shannon Sharp said it perfectly on Nightcap. If you think it's bad for Bill Belichick now, what about Tom Brady? Tom Brady's not going to get a first. He's going to have problems as well unless they rectify this and change the rules or change the judges. I mean, they're saying that the people that judged whether or not Bill Belichick would get an opportunity to go to the Hall of Fame are former writers, former players, personnel that worked in the front offices of the NFL. I mean, pretty much his peers. And it's like this. You ever worked somewhere and there's that one worker that, he comes in and work. He never misses a day. He, he does his job. He completes his task, but there's but the majority of the people at the workplace can't stand him because they view him as an asshole. They view him as a dickhead. They don't have a relationship with him. But when it's time to vote for Employee of the Month, he doesn't even get the opportunity. He doesn't even get a sniff of Employee of the Month. Works harder than anybody at the workplace. Never misses a day. Hell, even comes in on his days off, and he doesn't even get a knob for Employee of the Month. That's pretty much what Bill Belichick is going through right now. Okay? Crazy work entirely. It is definitely crazy work, my friend. Crazy work. But it just goes to show people, look, we're all human. We're all human, male and female. Sometimes we have emotional moments, and these people that were able to select Bill Belichick into the Hall of Fame, they allowed their emotions to get the best of them. And they made a boneheaded decision thinking that, nobody knows who's going to vote for Bill Belichick. I'll just not vote for him or just vote no. I mean, at the end of the day, who cares? And they, did something on emotion. And when it was all said and done, they thought they thought they was not going to get any backlash, and they getting more backlash than what they people are talking about this more so than the Hall of Fame. So the people that's going to be nominated in the Hall of Fame, they're not even going to get any cover time. They're not even going to get an opportunity to showcase them because people are going to be so busy talking about this story. This story is going to be bigger than the people that actually got a nod in the Hall of Fame. And it just goes to show when you allow your emotions to get the best of you, you make the most dumbest decisions imaginable. Okay. Now, if you can vote this man in and write something on a sidebar, we're voting him in, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. But personally, my problem with Bill Belichick is because of the cheating scandal. I don't think he got punished enough. I don't think he got punished enough for Deflategate. But we're only voting people who had huge success in the NBA. I mean, in the NFL. It's not it's not a personality award. It's not who's your favorite coach award. It's the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame has standards. We'll vote him in. But this is how I feel about Bill Belichick. If you want to say that, then cool. Well, what would you say? I'm sorry, my friend. Yeah, what's up? If you want to say that, that's cool. I think that's more mature. I think that's the best way to go. You vote them in, and then you have a sidebar, and you say, hey, look, I didn't like when Bill Belichick did this, said that, whatever. Okay, but you're gonna vote them in. Okay, so yeah, that is ugly, nasty work of the NFL, and they're gonna have to make the commissioner is going to have to set a standard in the Hall of Fame. Okay, you can't have a standard for the front office, have a standard for coaches, and have a standard for players, but you do not have a standard for the Hall of Fame. The commissioner is going to have to come in and issue a statement, and best believe in that statement, he should have in writing that things will be different next year. We're not doing this. We're not promoting this. We're not accepting this, okay? We're going to have a new standard. If we have to get rid of people who has the opportunity to vote people in the Hall of Fame, then that's what we're going to have to do, okay? But it's not a personal award. It's not how you feel about that person. This is the Hall of Fame. This is for people who were very successful on the football field. It doesn't matter if you like them. It doesn't matter if you hate them. It doesn't matter if you despise them. It doesn't matter that you in love with them. Whatever. Put your emotions aside. We're selecting the person who has the most success on the football field. This is not a respect reward. I have so much respect for this person. No, that's not what the Hall of Fame is meant for. The Hall of Fame is meant for the best of the best. Not average, not mediocre, not good occasionally. The best of the best are in the Hall of Fame. And when you do not have the best of the best coaches not representing the Hall of Fame, it just puts a huge stain on the Hall of Fame. It puts even a bigger stain for the people who are in the Hall of Fame. And it just doesn't look good. It's not a good look. Not a good look. The majority of the fans who, spend their time, their money, their resources on this great sport of the National Football League, they're not happy with this decision. They're not proud of this decision. So, yeah, that is totally sad that they would go this way. But hey, it is what it is. I'm sure there are going to be changes next year. I don't know if there's going to. I don't know if there's anything in the rule books that say, hey, look, uh, if the voters make a mistake, we can select this person on the first ballot. I don't know if they have a go-to rule like that, or the commissioner can step in and tell them to revote again. I don't know if he's able to do that, but that's not justice. What the people in the Hall of Fame, if you're listening, that's not justice. That's just being despiteful. That's just being, I don't like that person at the workplace. So I'm not going to give that person no kudos that they worked hard for. Okay? We're selecting people that we have friendships with. We're selecting people that we actually like. We don't care about what they contribute on the field. It just very, very disrespectful, and a lot of people have, particularly on social media, people are ripping the NFL and the Hall of Fame on social media, and to me, I'm not a huge opponent on social media. I feel like social media, it's a cesspool. Sometimes, you know, things are said and did on social media that I don't approve of, and I'm not going to make excuses of. But this is of the few occasions where I appreciate there is social media, where people have voices on social media and they're exercising their opinions and voices. And the majority of people, particularly on social media, are not happy with this decision. So best believe things are going to change next year. It's definitely going to change next year. And for all the guys that voted no or just did not vote it at all, I hope these individuals get penalized as well, where they don't get an opportunity to make they don't get an opportunity to make the same mistake twice. They should be penalized for this. There's no excuse for this. How can you penalize somebody that's already been penalized? That makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. So, yeah, this has nothing to do with not being punished enough or not being penalized. This has more to do with, I don't like Bill Belichick. I didn't have a good relationship with Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick didn't come in and do articles with me. We didn't have a good relationship. I couldn't stand him. He beat my favorite team. I used to work for an organization, lost my job because Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, we didn't have a winning, successful record with them, so they let me go in the front office. I used to be a head coach competing against Bill Belichick. I lost. I didn't have a longevity as a head coach because we had to play Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. It's all this jazz. Just tell it. Just tell just tell us what you really feel. Okay. Stop hiding under the deflate gate and the cheating scandal that they've been punished for, by the way. But yeah. So that's all I got. Hey, I wish everyone, the people that are stuck in this winter weather and you've been without power, I hope you get your power on soon. Hey man, I was struggling myself. Like I said, I was without power for Sunday. I got it back on Tuesday night. And I stayed one day, Sunday night, at home with no power, and I just couldn't do it. Got a hotel. Tuesday morning, I got the notification that my power was turned on. It was restored. Woke up that Tuesday morning, got home, and back to my regular scheduled programming. We take, as human beings, we take things for granted. And power, we take that for granted because we expect that to be there all the time. Okay. And yeah, I mean, I know there's people still out there without power, and now there's reports out there people without water. But I hope in the next couple of days things get resolved, because I did see the weather report. They're talking about another snow advisory for next week. I think it's for Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday. It's one of those 2 days. It's snow, but it's also mixed in with some rain. But it really goes by how cold it's going to be next week. So, hey, look, we may not be out of this yet. So while if you got your power on, try to make adjustments to be prepared for that. That's coming next week. Okay, so I'll talk to you guys next week, or unless something breaks, I will definitely talk to you like guys a little earlier than that. It's your boy, the host with the most. I do appreciate everyone coming by. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the support. Hit the like button, the subscription, the notification bell, and share this with a friend, family, and follower. I'm up out of here. I'm gone. Deuces, y'all. Deuce.